Starting a newsletter is one of the best things I have done to help grow my business and my practice. And today I want to share with you how you can do this for yourself. And a newsletter, although it may seem antiquated and old school, still remains one of the best tools for marketing to date. However, building a newsletter is not as simple as getting email addresses and then sending your services and advertisements into people's inboxes. This would be rude, weird, and just people wouldn't actually want to work with you if you're just spamming your inbox all day. A newsletter is something you actually want to work on and build over time. Additionally, it needs to be mutually beneficial. A newsletter not only benefits you as the person marketing your services, it also needs to benefit the people receiving the newsletter. It has to be a two-way street, so that when you do want to market a product or a service, you already have trust with an audience established. So if you're just providing value for free and it takes a lot of time to build up a newsletter, why might you want to actually start one? As I mentioned before, one of the first reasons why you're going to want to do this is it's going to help you grow an audience and establish credibility with them, right? So as you provide your newsletter and you provide value, more people will sign up for it, especially if it's actually valuable. And then your audience begins to grow. Additionally, your newsletter is also going to help you build credibility. Think about getting free samples at Costco, which I used to love, or any free samples that you get. That company or that business is allowing you to try their product before you buy it. This helps you make an informed decision without the pressure of having to buy it first. So in some ways, when you write your newsletter, you're giving someone a free sample of the services or the products that you offer. For me, for example, I have tons of YouTube videos all about how to start private practices. I write a newsletter with similar content, and it's all free. So I make those things so that people can decide for themselves if I'm credible or not, right? I don't just say, hey, buy this thing here and then try it out, or, buy this subscription and then try it out. I'm allowing people to try it out first and then decide if they want to work with me. I don't actually sell anything really. I used to in the beginning. I'm not selling much stuff anymore. There's a few items in my store. I don't really advertise it though. However, if I was someone who was advertising products or who was advertising consultations one-on-one, I might say, hey, look at all this stuff I have on YouTube and look at my newsletter, and then decide if you want to work with me. It's much better that way because then it gives someone autonomy to choose. So a newsletter provides that. So that begs the question, how do we actually start a newsletter? And we're going to start real basic here. The first thing you want to do is pick a theme. Now you want your newsletter to be related to the services or products that you offer, right? So if you're someone who's doing consultation work with therapists about starting private practices, I'm not going to have a newsletter about ice cream. That just doesn't make much sense. I would want my newsletter. Well, in fact, my newsletter is about how to start private practices. It's all about efficiency, productivity, different private practice tools, that kind of thing. Right? Because that's the exact thing that I do. So my newsletter or your newsletter, you want it to be related to the products and services that you offer. And then begin coming up with the format of your newsletter. What kind of content are you going to put inside this newsletter? And then from there, you're going to want to pick a platform on which to host your newsletter. Now, personally, I used to use MailChimp. I think this is probably the most common one, the biggest one. It was okay, it served its purpose, but it's really cumbersome. I had the free version. I know there's also a paid version. For me, it was just too much, too cumbersome. I got rid of that, and now I use something called Substack. If you're new and have not started one, I highly recommend Substack. It's completely free. It offers all the things that you need. I think you can have endless subscribers. It integrates with Twitter. You're able to convert your newsletter to a blog post. It's really good. It has what you need, but it's not stacked with all the bells and whistles. It's fairly minimal, so it makes it very easy to use. You can also use Substack to provide a free download when someone signs up. So for example, if someone wants to sign up for my newsletter, they do so on the Substack site. And then in return, their welcome email, they get my free download, which is my free giveaway. We'll talk about that in just a second. And so Substack has all you need, totally free. I'd recommend it. And then that leads me into another point. People are not just going to sign up for your newsletter because people just don't really do that. You're going to have to create some incentive for people to sign up, right? So for example, can you have a free digital download that you give to people? When people sign up for my newsletter, they're given access to my private practice directory. Now, access is only given to those people who sign up. It's totally free. There's all sorts of referrals for attorneys, accountants, different apps to use. I mean, it has a lot of really good stuff. So I provide something of value for free that people get when they sign up for my newsletter. You want to do the same for your newsletter as well? You can be really creative. Can you create a digital ebook? Maybe it's a free audio download. Maybe it's a free video that they can download. Maybe it's a free handout. I mean, I really don't know. You can be super creative, but come up with one thing that you can give to people as a free download when they sign up for your newsletter. And then finally, as you begin your newsletter, just remember it starts off very slow and builds over time. This is something you're going to want to keep doing over a long period of time. It's not just one and done. With that being said, you want to be consistent. Now, you don't have to be perfect. I see tons of videos talking about how you have to be perfect and on schedule. It's really, really, really hard to do that. You might try to stick with the schedule at first and then fall off. The whole point is to be as consistent as you can, and again, no one's perfect. So if you can do once a week, great. If it's once a month, fine. Shoot for something. And if you're not able to do that, then reconsider what consistency looks like. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's going to be a slow process and a long process. Anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you. I hope you learned something. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you soon.